If you work in tech, you know our systems are just getting more and more complex, right? It feels like we're all trying to monitor this sprawling, multi-cloud world with tools that were built for a totally different era. So today, we're going to map out the strategic journey from those clunky, outdated tools to a modern, cloud-native observability stack. Let's dive right in.
So, let's just start with the big question. Is your monitoring actually built for yesterday's cloud? I mean, if you're spending more time scrambling to piece together data from 10 different systems during an outage than actually fixing the problem, well, the answer is probably a big yes. You're basically trying to understand a super dynamic, multi-cloud environment with tools that were designed for a single static data center. It just doesn't work.
All right, so to guide us through this, we've got a pretty clear four-stage roadmap. First up, we're going to diagnose what we'll call the legacy problem. Then we'll get into charting the migration path. After that, we'll talk about navigating the challenges, because there are always a few. And finally, we'll get to the good stuff, the cloud-native payoff.
Okay, Section 1, the legacy problem. You know, you can't really plan a journey if you don't know exactly where you're starting from. So let's get a really clear picture of this before state and really understand its limitations.
And here it is. This is the core conflict, the fundamental mismatch. On one side, you've got these legacy tools that are siloed, they're reactive, and they're super manual. But then you look at the modern cloud, and it's the total opposite. It's distributed, it's incredibly dynamic, and it's all about automation. They're just speaking different languages.
So what does that legacy architecture actually look like in the real world? Well, it's usually this patchwork of homegrown scripts that are brittle and break all the time. You've got different totally disconnected tools for AWS, for Azure, for GCP, and that creates these massive data silos that make a single unified view pretty much impossible. And the result? When an outage hits, your engineers are frantically trying to connect the dots manually across a dozen different dashboards. It's just so inefficient and honestly, incredibly stressful for everyone involved.
And that brings us right to our second section, charting the migration path. Now that we have a handle on the problem, we can actually start planning the solution. And this is all about creating a deliberate, phased strategy. This part is probably the most critical piece for a successful migration.
Before we get into the how, let's just be super clear about our destination. Cloud-native observability, it isn't just a shiny new set of tools. It's a brand new capability. It's the ability to ask any question about your systems, no matter how complex they are, and get a clear answer fast. It's all about shifting to proactive insights instead of just reacting to alarms all day long.
So how do we actually get there without boiling the ocean? We break it down into 3 manageable phases. First, audit. You got to take stock of your current tools and figure out where are our biggest blind spots. Next, you run a pilot. And this is so important. Don't try to change everything at once. Pick a single service, something that's not mission critical, but is still visible, and migrate that first. This lets you prove the value and build momentum with way lower risk. Then, and only then, do you hit step 3, scale. That's when you expand across more teams and more cloud providers.
Okay, on to section 3, navigating the challenges. Look, any big IT transformation is going to have its hurdles. It's just part of the game. Being aware of them up front is half the battle. So let's talk about the 2 most common ones you're likely going to face.
First, you've got the technical challenge, data migration. What are you going to do with years of historical monitoring data? And all those custom dashboards your teams have spent ages building? That needs a solid plan. But just as important, maybe even more so, is the human challenge, team training. You have to upskill your engineers and help them shift their entire mindset from just using old tools to really leveraging these powerful new observability platforms.
And this really gets to the heart of it. I honestly can't stress this enough. Your people are the single most important part of your new stack. You can go out and buy the best, most expensive technology in the world, but if your teams don't know how to use it or even why they should care, the whole project's going to fall flat. You have to invest in them first. Which brings us to our final section, the cloud-native payoff. So after all the planning, the migration, the training, what does success actually look like? Let's explore this after state and see why this whole journey is absolutely worth it.
Remember that messy, cobbled-together before architecture we talked about? Well, this is the after, a single, unified platform that gives you a seamless view across all your clouds. We're talking true full-stack visibility, from the front-end application right down to the nitty-gritty infrastructure. All the context and correlation happens automatically. And the best part? Your engineering teams are totally empowered to solve problems on their own, fast.
And hey, this isn't just some nice idea. The impact is real, and it's quantifiable. Just look at this chart.
you see a dramatic reduction in what we call mean time to resolution, or MTTR. When you can see everything in one place, you find the root cause of a problem in minutes, not hours. Think about that. The business impact of that speed is just enormous.
So the bottom line, the most crucial point is this. This entire journey is about a fundamental shift in how you operate. You move away from reactive monitoring, which is just waiting for something to break and then scrambling to fix it, and you move into the world of proactive observability, where you can actually understand your system's behavior, anticipate issues before they happen, and continuously improve performance. It's a total game changer.
And that really just leaves us with one final thought. We've mapped out the entire journey, from the pain of legacy monitoring to the power of cloud-native observability. We've looked at the challenges and the incredible payoff. So the only question left to ask is, what's the very first step on your journey?